Okay, so people had some questions about Procreate. So this is just a quick little video to show you some basic stuff. So I was working on this page here, which is part of my nature journal, and I took some photos. Let me show you here. This is the layer button here. Let me turn off these layers. So that's the white. I usually put down a toned layer, and what I had done is I took photos of this mushroom. It's the same mushroom, like about 5 hours apart, each one. And what I did was I basically got the eraser tool and I erased layers. It's on the wrong. Oh, this is the way you select your layer, by the way. Whatever the highlight color is the layer selected. So now I'm back on this layer. Hit my eraser tool. So what I did basically with these is they each had their background, of course. They're each separate photos, and I just basically erased the background. I put them in here, and then I resized them, and then I put them all on the same layer. So now they're on this layer here. You can name each layer too if you want to. And the way you move things is over here with this arrow tool here. It automatically, since I had this layer selected, it automatically selected what was on there. You can do freeform, uniform, distort, or warp. So let's do uniform. So if I want to change the size of these, you can do that. And then if you want to move it around on the page, if you want to tilt it at an angle, you can grab this little handle here, move it around. You can also hit the distort button, and then I could, of course, I don't want to do this, I'm just showing you for the demo here. You can distort stuff here. And then there's a warp button, which you can warp things any way you want. So that's what I did. So I'll undo it. Oh, right here is your undo button. Boom, back to where it was. So this is the layer with the mushrooms, and I also had looking straight down on the mushroom here. So it looks like I missed a few things here. Just erase this junk here. So those are my mushrooms. And then what I did was I just put some background on them. So that's this layer here. I just got my paint tool and smudged it around. I put a little bit of green in there. So these, by the way, the stacking order is the way it actually appears. So in other words, this green layer here is below the mushrooms. So if you want to move them, you can get it and select it and drag it up. Now it's on top of the mushrooms there, which we don't want. So I'm going to move it back. You can move the layers any way you want to. So just by clicking on it till it selects there, and then you could move it up. So we don't want that. But just to show you, that's how you do it. And let's see, I had another layer here of just debris here. And then what I did was I created a text layer. And I just wrote everything out with the Apple Pencil. And you can select different tools. I have my own little kit here I use most of the time for stuff. So 6B pencil is what I usually use to write text with. And why is it not working? Oh, because I'm on the wrong layer. See, I have this layer selected. So let's undo that. Okay, now select the text layer. So even though I turned the text layer on a minute ago, I didn't select it. So when it's blue, it's selected. So now let's go back to the tool, to the pencil tool. Oh, I see what's going on. It looked like I didn't write anything, but actually I did. I wrote with this color here, so which is the same color as the background, so you just can't see it. So I'm going to click that, And this is where your color selector is. So you can select that color. Or if I wanted this text to match, I could zoom in. If you hit this little button here, it's a color selector. So let's say I want to select that color right there. And now I can do that. There's my text. Text tool. So you can just undo all that. And if I wanted to redo it, here's the redo button, which I don't want to do, or I can just erase it. So notice I'm just erasing this layer. That's all. So the way you can move around the document by spreading your fingers or contracting them or moving it. You can move sideways. You can scroll through it with 2 fingers. Pretty easy to do. Now if I wanted to copy a layer, let's say I wanted to copy this here. There's a couple of ways I can do it. One is I'm on this layer here, and now with 3 fingers I pull down. It's going to give me these options here. So let's just say I could cut it out if I wanted to, or let's just say copy. Now it's going to give me another option to paste, so I'm going to paste. So now it's pasted it, but it pasted it right in the same place. So here I'm hitting my move tool, and I'm moving it out. So I have another one here. Now if I wanted to, I could put another mushroom back in here, which I don't want to do, but just to show you what you can do. That's one way to do it. So, and it created a new layer for it. So I'm going to delete that, delete it. And there's another way to duplicate a layer too. If I wanted to duplicate this whole layer, I just pull it there, and there's a duplicate button there. Now I've got 2 of them. And one of them is selected. Let's take this, and you can see it's still there. So let's delete that. Let's see, those are some pretty basic tools and things to do in Procreate. And if you'd like to see more Procreate, I mean, this is just the very simplest part of it here. I've done lots of illustrations in Procreate for commercial and other purposes. And it's a really useful tool. I used Photoshop I've used it for like over 25 years, and I did a lot of photo illustration and illustration by hand using a Wacom tablet. And once I got Procreate and this Apple Pencil, it's like real life. The problem with Photoshop on a computer with a Wacom tablet is even though you're writing on the tablet here, you're looking at the screen, and so there's sort of a disconnect. Whereas right here, you're painting right here on this surface. So let's see if I wanted to. Let's just add a layer here. Wherever you click in here, and you hit this plus here, it'll add a layer right above it. So let's add a layer here, and let's just put some more greenery here. So I'm going to select this color. Now right now my brush tool has the pencil, which I don't want. I've got some of these cool oil brushes, which I've kind of made up. And let's change the color a little bit. Put a little bit of yellow in here. So you can see how these are kind of mimic oil brushes. It's kind of cool. And then sometimes I like to smudge into it, and I use this tool, this little finger here, a hand with a finger in it. So this is a good one to use. Let's use this one. And then you can smudge into what you just painted. You can create other effects. You know what, I'm going to put a color that's way different just so you can see what's going on. So here's some red in here. Okay, now I'm getting this tool here, and I'm smearing the paint in. And that's just one brush. The cool thing is with this is the smudge tool, you can use any of your paintbrush tools, any of your brushes that you have. So I can use this one. or I can use what I call just my main brush. And the same with the eraser. You can make the eraser any brush at all. So right now I have it as my main brush here. So I'm erasing that red. But I could also do a pencil. And then one thing I didn't show you yet is this is the size of your brush. So you see as I move this up and down, if you see this little box here, it'll show you how big the brush is. So this is a pencil, so it's already a pretty small line. So there, pretty small. I can make it big and fat too. So I'm on the eraser tool. Maybe that might be easier to show here. So there's this big fat brush. Let's get a different color. Now I can go here and make it smaller. Make it even smaller still. And that's pretty small. Or make it big. And the other thing you can do is this slider here is the opacity. So right here is fully opaque, but if I slide it down, you'll see that it's kind of translucent. You know, depending on how much you do it, it'll make it more opaque at the top and more transparent towards the bottom. So I can go back into this tool, move stuff around. So you can get some actually really painterly type effects with these, with the right brushes and stuff. So yeah, let's try this brush. Let's make it bigger. So you can get some very expressionistic type of strokes, and then you can modify them with the smudge tool. You can erase into them. Let's erase in with the oil brush. No, it didn't change it. I thought that didn't look right. Let's try that one. So now I'm erasing with this oil brush now. I can go back and paint. So you can go back and forth. And yeah, I can change the opacity a little bit. Come on, slide down. You can change color just on the fly here. Let's turn the opacity back up, turn the size down. And say I want a sample color, I just push this and put it there. I got this color. Say I want say I want this color here. Easy to do. And then you can just hit this and smear it around. Voila, you got abstract expressionist realism, impressionistic, Dada, surrealist, whatever you want to do. So totally change that. So that I did all in one layer here. So there it is, it's gone. Another thing you can do, say this layer here, you can do these effects over here. And this gives you opacity. So here's your slider here, so you can make it totally opaque or slide the opacity, and you might just want to color that background a little bit like that. You can go down and you can do, there's a lot of different things you can do. You can blur it, motion blur, sharpen, noise, liquify. Liquify is kind of cool. You can change the saturation and brightness of it. So these are saturated colors. I could pull the saturation down to where they're kind of just grays, or I could intensify it so that it's really intense. And then the brightness, the light, relative light and dark of it, you can change. You can change the whole color tonality of it here with the hue button. So you can do all kinds of stuff. Just undo it. If you tap it again, it'll do that. So this was just to show you, so I'm probably not going to save that at all. So like I said, this is just a quick little demo showing you just a few of the tools. And Procreate's really easy to learn. There's videos on Udemy, or actually there's a lot of stuff on just on YouTube of how-tos. And I learned this program probably, you can learn everything about it in like 2 days. Unlike Photoshop, where I'm still learning stuff after 25 years. Of course, they keep adding stuff to it. But this program is very intuitive, easy to use, and it's fun. And the thing I like about it is you can work out a lot of ideas. Like, say I had some color ideas here. I'm working out here. And you can just have fun with it and try different stuff. You know, if I wanted this background to be livelier, you know, could put that. Simple to do. Change the color right here. And this is your, here in the middle. So this is pure intense color, and this is more towards gray. This is light, and this is dark. And you see over here how the color changes when I move it here. The color on the left is the color that was there previously. So just so you have a reference. So let's do this right here. And we can, let's make some big strokes here. So since this layer is underneath my text is not affected at all with that. So I want to make it more like sky. Put this layer here and say I want to smudge it up a little bit. Hit the smudge tool. And let's just go big. So say I want to save that now. So what I can do is go up here to the little tool symbol here, and there's a share button. You can go through all this in different tutorials, but the share button, if I want to just save it to my my iPad, I just hit the JPEG button, and it says export, and it's where do you want to put it? And I go save image. So now it's saved it to my my photos. So it's all set. Then once it's in photos, I can export it into Facebook or Instagram, or send it as a in an email. And a lot of the commercial work I've done it totally on the iPad here, and then saved a very high-res image of it, often a JPEG, and just emailed it, and I'm done. Never even talked to the clients in person. Just email them, and they pay me via PayPal. It's a pretty simple, painless way to do artwork, and it's also fun. So if you don't have Procreate, get it. It's only like $5 or $6. It's probably one of the biggest bargains in the App Store. Get that, and with an iPad Pro and the pencil, it's pretty magical, pretty cool. So hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions, put them down below, and I'll try to answer them. And if you want to see more of this type Procreate stuff, let me know, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.